What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, where today we are doing another mock draft, this time for my father's favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it, talking about what the Seahawks have done in this offseason. They have made some major plays, signing Sam Darnold to a 3-year, $100.5 million deal, signing Cooper Kupp to a 3-year deal to replace kind of that receiving room, along with Marquez Valdez-Scantling. DeMarcus Ware was signed on as well for a 3-year deal. They re-signed guys like Jaron Reed and Ernest Jones. So now the Seahawks kind of find themselves in an interesting position as far as the things that they could do in this first round. Kenneth Grant was, kind of what I was looking to lean toward. Seahawks grabbing a defensive interior lineman here. That being said, since Kenneth Grant is off the board, why don't we go with Walter Nolan, a very good run blocker. You want to keep reinforcing those trenches, adding, Jaron Reed back, and already having guys like Leonard Williams down there. You might think that this is a little bit too much as far as their defensive interior, but if you know the Seahawks as well as I think that I do because of my dad, Walter Nolan here just makes so much sense for what they're trying to do defensively. We saw how successful Philadelphia was with their defensive interior. I expect the Seahawks to do the same here. They have, a couple of other ways that they could go. Obviously, you see some receivers here. Luther Burden in particular is a very interesting one for me. But given where they are currently and the team being kind of rebuild slash solid, I guess, I expect them to reinforce the trenches. Walter Nolan would be my pick here for Seattle. If Kenneth Grant isn't available. If he is, maybe have some other decisions to make. Seahawks now with 2 picks, pretty much back to back. And when I look at guys that they could take here, I look at guys like Demetrius Knight. I saw a report that said that Demetrius Knight is what Cam Chancellor would have been if he played linebacker. And knowing what the Seahawks want to do with their defense, they want to get back to those Legion of Boom days. You can pretty much fully expect them to grab a guy like Demetrius Knight here in the second round. Another option that I really like is Alec Ayumanor. He is a threat on the outside. They kind of need one now that DK is gone, and they added Cooper Kupp, who isn't going to fill that same slot. He's a big guy, has great hands. There are some concerns about, his hand placement when it comes to blocking and catching. But for the most part, he is fairly talented, and he should be fine given the coaching that he has. And for that reason, I'm going to go with Alec Ayumanor. They just need a receiver. An outside receiver. He fits in fairly perfectly here for that. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Up next, pick number 52. Again, I'm looking at a guy like Demetrius Knight. Could possibly also be looking at an edge rusher here. I see Braden Swinson obviously available. But I do like the report that I saw about Demetrius Knight. I think, he's a very talented player, 6'2", 235. He hits like a Mack truck, is what I've seen be described. I think he's a great player and he would provide so much to Seattle. This is a guy that could go in the first round. I've seen a lot of people putting him in the first round. So him being here currently, we're going to go ahead, grab who I feel is that best player available for the Seahawks. And we're going to see what we can get in this third round with these next 2 picks. All right, Obviously, I already see the guy that I was hoping would be here, and that's Elijah Roberts. 290, 295, 6'4". He is an absolute monster. Um, he is not the most athletic player, but he does have a very high football IQ. Um, he's not exactly the most athletically gifted, but he makes up for it by being that much more intelligent, which is why he's still productive and why he was so productive at SMU. Seahawks need an edge rusher. He is a guy that the Seahawks could plug in and fill on that defensive line. In the last 2 seasons, he's had 17 and a half sacks and 23 and a half tackles for loss, basically implying that other teams have issues blocking him. He is a very good player, despite maybe not being the most athletically gifted. And I think that Elijah Roberts here for the Seahawks makes perfect sense. He is the perfect choice. Last but not least, we are going to go ahead and look here at what the Seahawks could potentially, need. I see here a guy that I see the Seahawks getting drafted very often, and that's Tate Ratledge. Was dealing with some injuries, didn't really play much last year, but still was a third-team All-American, if I remember correctly. And I think that just shows how good he was before he got hurt. The Seahawks are in desperate need of a guard. It's not a position that they're going to invest, an early draft pick for, but this is a perfect situation for them. They can grab a guard who can immediately go in and start on the line, and get some more help for Sam Darnold, a quarterback that you're going to want to protect. Seahawks are in desperate need of some offensive line help, and I think there's no better pick than this one to use that. Tate Ratledge, 6'6", 320. He dealt with some injuries, but only allowed 1 sack in 500 offensive snaps, 311 pass blocking snaps. He's a very good player. He is going to kill it for the Seahawks, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to choose Tate Ratledge. All right, and there you have it. Walter Nolan not getting the best grade, but I do think it's a position of need, and if Kenneth Grant was there, that's definitely who we would be taking, which would be a very good pick for the Seahawks. Overall, I think we did fairly well. Seahawks grabbing some players that they're in dire need of in order to improve their team. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video and you guys want to see more videos like it, make sure you smash that like button. Comment if you're new here, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.